If you literally looked, even 5 years ago, it was literally just a LAN with maybe a couple of exhibitors on the side. But then that started to change dramatically. People realised that these are really good people to get your product in front of. I hate to use the marketing buzzwords, but they really are key influencers. These are the guys being asked by their friends, family, what TV do I buy, what PC do I buy, all this sort of stuff. Over a third of these guys are IT professionals. So we started getting exhibitors coming along and showcasing their stuff, and it kind of grew from there. Electronic sports, as in tournaments, started to become what used to be a few people watching around a projector in the bar on a wall, has now become full productions, main stage, live streaming. As more and more people have got involved, the prize money's increased. I mean, we're expecting a good 1 million people online to have watched this tournament over the weekend. It's huge numbers. So that's really how, I mean, the audience has increased, the numbers have increased. I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were only just breaking the 2,000 player barrier at these shows. The exhibition got added on. It started off as a few little stands and became its own exhibition hall next door. The camping increased. We started doing main stages. The tournaments went from just a handful to 20 plus. So it's just exploded, both in size and scope. For example, those sorts of shows like Eurogamers in central London, ideal to get tens of thousands of people in there. None of them are bringing any kit with them. Here, you've got upwards of 2,000 people bringing PCs, consoles, monitors, everything with them. That's a logistical nightmare to do anywhere that's not near a major motorway. We've looked at doing events like this in central London, just the logistics of where do you park 2,000 cars, unload all these people. Just getting from the M25 into the centre driving is a nightmare. I've done it too many times. So they're very different shows. I mean, we have a consumer side to the show, very much so. We have a big esports side to the show. In fact, we actually work closely. I mean, we were running stands at Eurogamer. We provided a lot of the PCs for Eurogamer and Rezzed, because we do a lot of business-to-business stuff as well. We do contract events. Last weekend, we were running Minecon for Mojang in Euro Disney. It's the biggest contract event we've ever done. It's like 4 or 5 times the size of this for someone else. So I think there's room in the market for both. Obviously, it's difficult when you have shows that conflict on the same weekend, but that's life. Things are going to happen. But there's a different audience here. These guys actually don't tend to go to those sorts of shows because they're a bit more hardcore. We do have the consumers. I mean, we've got a lot of people in the local area that have come in today. So like Telford, Birmingham, and we're very central. We're very central in the UK. We have people coming from as far south as the tip of Cornwall right up to the north of Scotland. So if we used to be in Newbury, people would drive 10, 12 hours to come down. But now we're right off the M54, right by Birmingham. Literally, I think 90% of the UK population is within a 3-hour drive. So it's an ideal location for us.
Why do you think it's so difficult for the press to understand these sports?
I mean, I think there's been a few issues along the way that have contributed to this. For example, just the general taboo of playing games. 10 years ago, if you had said to someone, I'm off for the weekend, I'm taking my computer to a venue and we're sitting together, we're networking them up and we're playing games for the weekend, you would have been ridiculed, laughed at. It's just would not have been viewed as anything sort of a acceptable everyday activity to occur. 5 years on, you, for example, could go into the office on Monday morning and say, so what did you get up to on Saturday night? And you'd say, well, a few mates came round, we played on the Xbox and the PlayStation. That had become by then, in the space of 5 years, an acceptable activity. I think so we've been fighting this taboo. And then 5 years on from that, where we are today, esports really is at a stage now where it can't be denied anymore. People can't go, oh, that's just a bunch of geeks playing some computer games. Really? Hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds worth of prize money being paid out across the world. Millions, literally millions of people tuning in to watch the games. 30 million active players on League of Legends a month. These are insane stats. These are big percentages of global population starting to be talked about here. And I think first question is, what do you mean by the forefront of esports? If you talk just UK, absolutely. There is no one doing the size of events we're doing, with the amount of prize money, with the professional production we are doing. We are well ahead in that regard. If you talk European level, there are bigger events that are doing much more prize money. You talk global level, then you start introducing things like the MLG, you start introducing the Koreans, where they are just, Korea is just 5 years ahead of Europe, let alone the UK. So we're fighting hard to keep the UK, especially as a PC gaming nation, is still up there. As a console gaming nation, it's one of the biggest in Europe. It's one of the biggest territories. So there's no reason we can't be up there with the rest of them. What has been a problem in the UK is there's a tendency to be very reluctant to invest in this sort of activity. There is, especially in the last few years, total risk aversion to getting involved in any of this sort of stuff. Whereas you see the likes of the MLG over in the US getting $18 million of VC, then a second tranche a couple of later, $18 million, just able to throw so much money at it. Whereas for example, we're a family-run company, we've never taken external investment, we're organically grown. We fund all the prize money that isn't sponsored. We fund that from our ticket sales, from our own revenue, to grow esports in the UK. So we want to keep on top of it. We're working closely with all the key partners. It's great to see the likes of ESET putting a load of money into esports in the UK. And we also work very closely. I mean, with IGN, we have a great relationship. We ran an IPL event, one of the first outside of the US here, November last year, which had loads of key players fly over for it. Work very closely with them in the future. We can see ourselves potentially becoming much more of a service provider to the other organisations as well. Much like we did with Minecon last weekend, we can go and deliver exactly what we've done here. We've got all the kit, the expertise, the production value, everything. We can just roll that out wherever you need us to do. So I can see our own events going from strength to strength, but I can also see us doing a lot more service events for other people. So we've got our next major iSeries event is in March. It's the weekend before Easter. We've also got big online tournaments running. The ESET Masters continues after this event. We're doing a number of seasons for that. We've got a number of smaller events that we do, our Stratlan events. We've got, I mean, the other side of our business, which is actually much bigger than what we do here, is our online hosting division. We're doing a lot of big commercial contracts there. We're doing a big push with things like Minecraft. We have 20,000 servers online around the world that we do. We have a whole separate side that we do there. So for us, it's been a crazy year. It's been mad. I mean, doing Minecon just before this event was like, oh my God, we're going to die. But it's all been great. Events seem to be going really, really well. Everyone's having a great time. But yeah, Easter next year, weekend before, come check us out. It will be this ×2 at the very least.